So, the other day I had a fun shower thought. Beat up is a funny move. You send out all your Pokemon at once to beat up the target. So I made a beat up team. So we got the shots caller here, Ambipom. Um, this was like the whole point. This was the whole shower thought. I had Ambipom with beat up, Technician, Terra Dark, Choice Band, and all the Pokemon with the highest attack stats, like in the game. And they all come together and beat the shit out of the opponent. So we also got Chip Chop, the Kartana, the mandatory good Pokemon. And then we got Bonk Rock with stupid high funny number. We got with stupid high funny number. We got Beep Boop with stupid high funny number, and we got Sandman, who is a little bit different. As you can see, he kind of goes after the Pokemon that have really high defense but low special defense. But I didn't really think about that when I was actually making them. I just wanted to make these stats even because they look pretty even. So some notable weaknesses with this team is that everyone is weak to fighting, except for Sandman, but he doesn't have any bones. So everyone kind of just dies to any fighting type in the game. But hey, that's just if the opponent doesn't have a fighting type, you're all good to go, really. Fairy does resist Dark, but you have, Chip Chop, a good Pokemon. You also have Dark resists Dark, but that doesn't really matter, because I don't care. So I got some battles for you. So the first battle here is against this Cynthia NPC, who also does a little bit of shiny hunting. So this is the strat, right? We lead with Get 'em Boys. I don't know why the nicknames aren't showing up, but we lead with Get 'em Boys. He Terra Darks and just sends out the boys and beats them up. So Cynthia sends out the Togekiss next, so Togekiss obviously resists Dark. I have to switch out here. Switching out with this team is very difficult because of that. I am so glad he didn't go for Aura Sphere if he even had it. So we take him out with a Smart Strike, no biggie. Sends out the Lucario, who is the scariest Pokemon on the team. If this person wasn't, trying to be Cynthia, they would have led with Lucario and won instantly. But instead, they didn't. Well, actually, funnier thing about this, he doesn't actually use a single fighting type move. He goes for Swords Dance on the obvious. Oh, he goes for Swords Dance on the. He goes for Swords Dance on the obvious switch, but can't take out Hoopa's paper defenses. So he's able to fire off with a Psychic that just really, he could have tried a little bit harder. So now this Lucario is a bit of a problem, but it's okay. Get 'em Boys gets him all by himself with the beat up, which is very impressive. And then he just sweeps the rest of the team. You'd think, oh, Ruskin Garchomp, that'll finally take him out. No. He has Sandvale instead of Ruffskin. My favorite type of people, though, is the people that, even though they are going to lose, they still play out the rest of the game. So yeah, that's how you beat Cynthia. Here's another way to beat Cynthia. I don't know what it's with Cynthia enjoyers and shiny Pokemon, but they seem to really enjoy it. Anyway, one shot a Corviknight here with beat up, which is kind of insane if you really think about it, but hey, that's just the joys of this little guy. Yeah, also one shot a Dragonite, and then get outsped by Greninja, scary. But we tank those, so it just one-shot the Greninja too. Sends out a Pyro. Wait. Greninja was their only not shiny? I just noticed that. I guess they forgot. Everyone else is shiny. Anyway, he finally sends out a Pokemon that resists Beat Up, which would normally be a good idea. However, skill issue. Now he finally sends out the Crocodile, which he should have done in the first place, but whatever. Tanks a Beat Up. You know, all of these Pokemon attacking Crocodile at once couldn't stop him. But Regigigas on his own, he can stop him. Alright, the next one was against a Cheerleader Enjoyer, which... sick. This was my first battle against not Cynthia, you know, it's pretty scary. I have to switch out here against the Weezing immediately because that's horrifying for the poor little guy. I switched into Regigigas because I couldn't really think of a good switch, even though Kartana would have been a great switch. I don't know why I went into poor Regigigas, but he's just gonna be overpowered by slow tanky Pokemon. The poor guy. Avalanche doesn't even do half, so yeah, he goes down, and I send out Chip Chop for the Break, but he tears Bug. He read me so hard, because now Kartana doesn't have the Choice Band, and that's what he thinks is the scariest Pokemon here. I Terrasilize Hoopa so that he doesn't get one-shot, probably, and he takes neutral damage instead of super effective, and he one-shots with Psychic, which is really nice. Outspeeds Articuno, and steals his boots, so now Sandman has some cute bootsies. He Whirlwinds Ambipom, which was probably the best Pokemon for him to Whirlwind into, because now Ambipom just sweeps. He isn't able to get the kill on Swampert here, spoiler, but he was really close. But now he outspeeds and one-shots everything, so he just leaves. And that's called Ambipom being a win condition. This guy forgot to evolve this Pokemon, so I already won at Team Preview. I'll play it anyways. Not gonna commentate much. It wasn't that hard. He did okay, to be fair. Doesn't matter. I just want to show you the end. He takes out 3 Pokemon. That's more than both Cynthia clones combined, which is kind of wild. It's just the 3 of the last battles put together, so maybe you shouldn't evolve your Pokemon. This next one, this was probably the scariest battle out of all of them. Not really because of anything in particular, other than the fact that all of his Pokemon were silly. And you can never trust a silly Pokemon. Obviously, Ambipom takes out the Bolty guys very easily, but Curse Body now makes him have to switch out, or else he's gonna struggle against Wormadam. We don't want that. Sets up with Quiver Dance, and goes for a hidden power that doesn't even, like, kill. So he goes down immediately. I guess that's because it wasn't silly, so it wasn't really much of a problem. But this silly crab is just so silly. Leaf Blade tears grass so that he doesn't get one-shot by Leaf Blade, knocks off my freaking Choice Band, everything goes wrong against this silly crab. Activate Anger Shell, Chip Chop dies! But Regigigas survives a Stone Edge very handily. Because, I mean, Slow Start may be like one of the worst abilities in the game, but at least he keeps all of his bulk. So he's able to take him out with a Avalanche, and then the most unfortunate series of events to occur. Ambipom got one shot. I send out Regigigas because I'm a fool. He dies to Boom Burst. I'm like, okay, fine. Switch in Sandman. He almost dies to Boom Burst. Finally takes out the Silly Bird with a Thunderbolts. Silly Anteater comes out and finishes off Sandman. And now he switches out because he was locked into Fire Lash. So he switches in Silly Guy, who kind of just dies immediately. So it may not seem that Silly Guy was much of a threat, but he was certainly a lot better than what Wormadam did. Because now Heatmore, the Silly Anteater can come in and take out Rampardos. Now it's 1-1. Horrifying. But fortunately, Choice Band Slacking is absolutely fucking insane, and he one-shots him with an EQ. Next up, we got this stall team here, whose win condition, I guess, is Miss Magius. But as you can see, this thing dies to beat up, this thing's scary. This thing dies to beat up, this thing dies to beat up, this thing dies to beat up, and this thing dies to Smart Strike, which we can clearly see in the very beginning with Terra Dark, beat up, one-shot or Beetle. I didn't even need a Terra there, but I did anyway. Now the Clefable, so I switch out into Chip Chop. Well, he goes for a Toxic for some reason. So I one-shot him with Smart Strike. Now, instead of... This is the problem with putting Kartana on a team, is that the whole video just becomes Kartana. Because everything here dies to Smart Strike. See, that's the problem about having good Pokemon, is that they're good. It's just a huge problem. Next up, we got an actual, like, team here. We got the Grimmsnarl Prankster screens, and then he switches into a sweep Pokemon. Like, any one of the Pokemon here to just sweep the whole team. Which, okay, even though I knew this at the time, I still led with Ambipom, because I just like the little guy. He's pretty cool. Look at the little dance. Yeah, I still even do like the same strat. Look at this wall of text. Probably should have just led Kartana, but hey, you know, I still win in the end.